Today, I want to give you a secret on how you can manage anxiety. Welcome to our YouTube channel. I'd love to encourage you to hit subscribe and like because we have a whole lot more coming for you. When it comes to managing anxiety, we don't realize how many thoughts are in our mind each day because our subconscious is there. It's 90% of our brain, and we don't even realize how much goes on in there without us even knowing. So when it comes to combating anxiety, I want to give you some very practical tools on how you can see anxiety not rule you any longer. There's a principle called the 3-to-1 ratio. This means 3 positive thoughts for every negative thought. Now, I'm going to be really honest. I'm not one of those positive thinking people. I'm not thinking positive about everything. In fact, I'm kind of a realist when it comes to emotion. But when it comes to this 3-to-1 ratio, I'm going to give you a reframe if you're like me. When it comes to, I don't want to just think positive all the time. I want to see something real. I want to see something that actually is tangible and works and doesn't ignore the problem. But first, we actually have to address the problem. There's a negative thought. I want you to think about one toxic thought that might be ruminating in your mind. You might need to think about this. Sometimes I find it helpful to think about what has been my resting emotional state. Have I been feeling overwhelmed? Have I been feeling stressed? And then if that emotion was a sentence, what would it sound like in my mind? That helps me frame a thought. Now, some people might think, oh, I know exactly what I'm thinking. I'm thinking things like, I can't do this. I'm thinking things like, I wish I could quit my job. I'm thinking things like, I wish my children would behave better. You only know your thoughts. And what I would encourage you to do is do a little brain dump. Take a journal and write down every thought that you can think of that's in your mind. Give yourself 5 minutes, write it all down, and then circle the one that you're like, that's the negative thought that's ruminating in my mind as of late. You need to understand what negative thought is there before you can actually combat it. So that's our first step. Our second step is to actually start thinking and reframing it into this 3-to-1 ratio, 3 positive thoughts for 1. So I remember being a kid and we would hear adults say all the time, you know what, for every negative put down you give to somebody, you need to give 3 positive put ups. This is not that. This is not you giving yourself pumping up your tires and making you feel good. What I'm going to give you with these 3 positive thoughts are specific ways you can reframe your negative thought. So, 3 positive thoughts. Number 1, beside every negative thought, write down what's the reframe. So for example, if I have the thought, I can't do this, a reframe could be, I don't have the skills right now to do this. But I could go on YouTube. I could read a book. I could listen to a podcast. I could go back to school. That's reframing it. So yes, you're not admitting that maybe you can't do this right now, but you're reframing it to remember that you are a powerful person who can make powerful choices. So the reframe is the first positive thought that you could add. Second positive thought is, what strength have you gleaned? Maybe it's been a negative experience that have told you, you're not enough, you can't do this. Well, if I think about a positive thought of what strength has risen in my life because of that experience, I could say, well, no, I wasn't able to do that. But you know what? I've been able to persevere. Perseverance is something that I've gleaned and I've gained through this experience, even though it's been hard. That's strength. That's identifying the strengths that are rising in you through, even though there's been bad experiences and negative situations in your life. Number 3, the third positive thought that you can add to your negative is, who are you? Who are you? Sometimes what we need to remember is who we are. Sometimes what we need to do is come back to, what's the foundation inside of me? What's really there? Where's the grit? I remember in one of the hardest moments of my life, I wrote over myself that I'm brave. I am brave. And it reframed all the negativity of I can't do this, I don't have enough tenacity to do this. I think I'm drowning. All of those negative thoughts. When I remembered who I was and reminded myself of that, I was able to combat some very hard situations that made me very anxious. So these 3 positive thoughts, when we reframe the negative thought, when we think about what strength have I gleaned through hard situations, and number 3, who are you? Those 3 become positive thoughts that take that negative thought and render it not void, but it keeps it under wraps. Anxiety is not what you were born to have here on earth. You were meant to live free. You were meant to live brave. You are meant to have perseverance and all the things that are in your heart to do. So I hope that this tool can help you. Please follow us, like, subscribe, because we love to give more information like this all the time.